Welcome back to another episode of Second Take. Now, last week, I have to apologize. I wasn't around. I was in Cape Town. I was inspecting the alleged genocide in the beautiful, beautiful Cape winelands. And I must say, genocide with Merlot. Not too bad, not too shabby. However, today's show, we're going to be talking about William Ruto's daughter, who we shouldn't be talking about, but she has become a subject. We're also going to be talking about Floyd Shivambu because he cannot help but sabotage himself. And of course, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, the breakup of the century. Welcome to the show. All right, so as promised, Charlene Ruto, Kenya's self-appointed Ivanka Trump, armed with a well-moisturized Instagram presence and an office that doesn't technically exist. While her father crushes dissent, she's out here branding herself as a youth champion and environmental fairy godmother. And now, literary critic. On June 2, 2025, author Webster Oshora Elijah, an optimistic 25-year-old with dreams of literary fame and apparently zero legal counsel, dared to publish beyond the name Charlene Ruto and the youth uprising. What followed? His own youth uprising, in the form of being arrested for identity theft. Yes. Writing a book without Charlene's sign-off now qualifies as a cybercrime in Kenya. Oshora was detained, his devices seized, and his manuscript declared too dangerous for daylight, possibly due to it containing opinions. Meanwhile, Charlene declared she didn't mind the content, just the lack of consent. Apparently, being the first daughter now comes with copyright. Fair enough. Legal minds were swift to react. What next? Asked human rights lawyers. Do we need a signed affidavit to mention Uhuru Kenyatta in a tweet? Critics labeled it yet another chapter in Kenya's ongoing crackdown on expression. The book wasn't even widely available, but thanks to Charlene's outrage, it's now a bestseller in spirit. Charlene insists her office of the first daughter is privately run and not taxpayer funded, though it's unclear whether Kenyan airspace was privately purchased for her recent global climate change tours. Nicknamed Quickmart Ivanka because even dynasties are on discount these days, her jet-setting and opaque power have started to irritate even those who once saw her as a charming anomaly. It's a modern parable. In a nation where democracy is being throttled by a finance bill and satire is punishable by disappearance, publishing a book might be Kenya's new revolutionary act. Let's move over to South Africa. The land of struggle heroes and budget deficits has a new hit reality show, The Real MK Party of Nkandla. This season's plot twist, Floyd Shivambu, EFF co-founder, master of parliamentary clapbacks and Julius Malema's former BFF, has packed his red beret and defected to Jacob Zuma's MK party. Political analysts are calling it shocking defection. You remember how this story went, all right? It was crazy. None of us expected it, and it was a shocker. Shivambu was made Secretary General of the MK party. And now he's not. Why? Because he went to Malawi to support Bushiri, a fugitive. You know what I mean? Even Jacob Zuma was like, look, I can excuse a lot. Jacob Zuma excused HIV with a shower. He can excuse a lot. But this was a sticky one. This was a tough one for him. And he had to make a decision. Now, Shivambu had been saying that he visits all sorts of religious places, but not acknowledging that he was visiting someone who is a fugitive from the country who you work for. I mean, come on, that should surely be a factor. And to be honest, a lot of people didn't expect it to be a factor because, yeah, I mean, pennies in parliament for the MK party. Much respect to the musical legend, but emphasis on musical legend. Not really much else going on there. So Jacob Zuma made a decision. Shivambu is no longer the Secretary General of the MK party, he has been moved back to Parliament, which means MK party is trying out something new, something fresh, something that we did not think they were capable of. Accountability. Well, well, well. In the land of bald eagles and billionaires, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are locked in the least exciting feud since Kanye West argued with a mirror. What began as a flirtatious bromance, all interviews and crypto memes, has now morphed into mutual eye-rolling on the world's most unstable platform, X. Back in August 2024, Musk hosted Trump for a tell-all session that was basically a campaign ad wrapped in a tech demo. Since then, things have soured. Musk, after helping Trump secure the White House with algorithmic adoration and a Tesla in just about like every tweet, was rewarded with a position in the new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which may or may not be a meme with the budget. But egos are fragile in Magaland. Musk, thinking he could bend governance like SpaceX Metal, has grown increasingly frustrated with Trump's chaotic leadership. Meanwhile, Trump reportedly thinks Musk talks too much, listens too little, and has too few golf courses. The irony is rich. Trump, once America's loudest outsider, is now being out-disrupted by a man who thinks citizenship should be available via subscription. Musk's political influence has divided even his fans. Some love the chaos. Others miss the days when billionaires stuck to rockets and left elections to politicians with actual experience in not crashing things. As the 2028 election looms, the Trump eyes another comeback. One thing is clear: when tech bros and strong men collide, is democracy that ends up in better testing. And my goodness, though, that fight on Twitter, Musk was direct. He said he got Trump elected. That's what he said. And he also said that Trump is in the Epstein files, which is why they are not being released. It was like, you know those guys who pay fees for a girl that they're dating? Like, I'm not judging. I am, but I'm not judging. I should be. I'm definitely judging. So there's those guys who pay fees for someone that they are dating, lady or not, and then sometimes that person decides to break up with them because, you know, fees and relationship might not be the same thing. I feel like this is how Elon Musk feels right now. Elon Musk feels like he paid the fees for Trump to be president, and now Trump doesn't want to be in the relationship, and that's making him feel a little sour. But whatever Elon Musk is feeling right now, I doubt it is comparable to what the gentlemen from AfriForum are feeling right now. Because now it's sketchy, right? Because Elon Musk convinced Trump of the quote-unquote white genocide in South Africa. Trump is currently attacking every single thing Elon Musk, and vice versa. Just now, Trump could be like, and Elon Musk misguided me on the genocide in South Africa. I love Cape Town. I love the wildlands of Khandet. It could happen. But the main thing is this, especially when it comes to these two gentlemen. You're both bad people. And we're not surprised that bad people can't stand bad people. Well, that has been Second Take, but I'm going to leave you with an important interview because the sixth president of Zambia, Edgar Lungu, sadly passed away last week. Mike Sichula and myself were breaking down parts of his legacy and, of course, the announcement of his passing, which seems laden with a lot of political underlinings with regards to this particular moment in Zambia. But for me, from now, from the Second Take crew, do enjoy your evening. And to the Zambians, Morning Lungu, we are with you. And next week, we'll give the time required to the legacy of Edgar Lungu. But for now, take care. It's time for me to now talk to Mike Sichula as he brings us the more comprehensive update with regards to the very sudden passing of Zambia's sixth former president, Edgar Lungu. Mike, good morning.
Good morning to you. And it's a very, very sad day from Zambia, like you've just said from your preamble. But thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed, a sad day. Mike would like to certainly pass our condolences from this end. And yeah, let's get into it. Edgar Lungu is no longer with us. Could you please just narrate to our audience as to how this news unrolled?
Wow, so yesterday it just began like a quiet day, a normal day, that everything was fine everywhere. Not until news broke out midday somewhere there when former president's daughter, Tasira Lungu, broke the news that father, who had been out of Zambia for more than 5 months, had passed away in South Africa. So we can have the video to just hear how she delivered the message that has shocked many Zambians.
Fellow Zambians, it is with profound sorrow that we announce the passing of His Excellency, Dr. Edgar Lungu, sixth President of the Republic of Zambia, who departed this morning at 06 hours at Medifarm Clinic, a center in South Africa. My father, President Lungu, had been under medical supervision in recent weeks. His condition was managed with dignity and privacy, with support from all well-wishers. In this moment of grief, we invoke the spirit of one Zambia, one nation. The timeless creed that guided President Lungu's service to our country. In time, the nation will be involved to be informed of other arrangements. Thank you. God bless you.
So there you are. You can see that was Tasira Lungu with her husband breaking the news that has shocked many Zambians, because the last time Zambians saw President Lungu was more than 5 months ago, when he was traveling out at the international airport. Then a few days ago, he had an interview whilst in South Africa with one of Zambia's historians and a strong critic to the current administration. And he was also a strong critic to President Lungu, that is Dr. Sishua Sishua. There were pictures that were posted of him right there in South Africa. So the news about Mr. Lungu passing away has received a lot of messages of condolences from the current president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who has called for unity of purpose as the country mourns Zambia's 60th president. Also, the Kenyan president, William Ruto, has also sent in his condolences to the government of Zambia. The SADC has also as well sent their condolences to the government of Zambia. But one thing that our viewers need to understand is that when President Edgar Lungu left office in 2021, after he lost to President Hichilema by a landslide defeat, Mr. Lungu had retired from politics. He retired momentarily from politics. Then, because of circumstances that we may not know, he then came back into active politics. So according to the Zambian constitution, when a former president joins active politics, there are certain privileges that are taken away constitutionally. That is according to the constitution. So Mr. Lungu lost his privileges of government taking care of him in terms of where his house being paid for by the government. So because he returned to politics, that was taken away. And during that period, he continued asking government that he needed to go for medical attention. But that was denied on several occasions, not until the last time he was allowed. Then, so when he went to South Africa, he went in his own personal capacity as just an ordinary citizen, though he swept Zambia. So government didn't even have information as to what was troubling Mr. Lungu. The last time a senior government official, permanent secretary in the Ministry of Information, Tabo Kamwana, did tell the nation that Mr. Lungu was suffering from cancer and he was undergoing chemotherapy. That statement that he issued was disowned by the Minister of Information, Cornelius Mwitwa, who said that Mr. Tabo issued that statement in his personal capacity. So you can understand from these two scenarios that government really didn't have first-hand information as to what was happening to Mr. Edgar Lungu. Not until yesterday that this information has come. You can also see that also the president, Mr. Edgar Hakainde
Chilema.
is Chilema depended information from the daughter to say who've been informed by the family of Mr. Hakainde, Mr. Edgar Lungu. So it is what a number of Zambians are now asking to say, but why did the government take this route? Yes, despite it being constitutional to say if someone gets back into active politics, there are certain things that are taken away from him. So it is these questions that a lot of Zambians are asking, and government is yet to provide a very comprehensive report with the current state of affairs.
Truly, Mike, and without running the risk of being disrespectful, it is also safe to assume Edgar Lungu was fairly wealthy. Can we at least establish that?
Come again?
Was Edgar Lungu wealthy in his own capacity, especially if we look back to how he celebrated his daughter's birthdays in the past?
Yeah, we can say that because President Lungu, before he became Zambia's president, he was a practicing lawyer, and in his own way, did say that he was born to a domestic worker. His father was a domestic worker to a Catholic 68 years ago, and the mother was someone who was hustling from the markets to provide for the family. So from that humble background, Mr. Lungu managed to become a lawyer, and he did also practice widely, even though at some point his license was taken away because of some disciplinary issues that he came across through the Law Association of Zambia. But when he became president, with all the salaries he was getting and other personal, benefits that he was fairly a wealthy person.
Yes.
But politics did took center stage, and he was accused of having embezzled government resources through corrupt activities. But this, he denied all these allegations when he was alive, and also there were no, he has never been convicted in any court of having embezzled any government resources.
Truly. I think the only reason I was bringing up his wealth is that, as you've said, politics has taken center stage, and you and I, having at least surveyed the Zambian political scene, know that there is no love lost between Lungu loyalists and Hichilema loyalists, no matter the situation. And it seems not even a funeral, because as apt as it is, as far as societal norms go, it makes perfect sense for Edgar Lungu's daughter to announce his passing. But in his capacity as the 6th president of Zambia, we all expected the government announcement to come first, because Edgar Lungu belongs to the Zambian collective legacy. And I wanted us to take this conversation there without dwelling on it so much that we get into disrespectful ground, especially with regards to observing the moment. Just in this moment, do you think that these two entrenched factions will be able to put politics aside and Zambia first?
Well, when you look at the statement that was issued by President Hakainde Hichilema, it is very clear that President Hichilema wants this funeral of the 60th president, Mr. Lungu, to be held in an orderly manner, devoid of divisions from all sorts of. Which faction of the PF, like I've reported on Africa Good Morning, that the PF has been divided into three factions, one of which is aligned to the UPND administration. So it is from that aspect that President Hichilema needs to tread carefully as to which faction he's going to listen to. Because the larger faction of the PF, this is where President Lungu was regarded as the president of the PF. So depending on which faction the president, Mr. Hichilema, is going to aside himself to, then it will give the Zambian citizens as to whether he truly means his words when he's called on Zambians to mourn Mr. Lungu in a manner that befits his office as the Zambia 6th president. But like I did say earlier on again, the issue is that from the inception, this is where the problem started. There from the inception, the moment he said he turned to politics, government looked at Mr. Lungu as a political opponent, unlike a former president. This is where the problem has been, and a lot of Zambians were not happy that the 60th president could go out of the country and no government official didn't have information about him. I'll give an example. The Speaker of the National Assembly, after a certain member of Parliament raised a point of order as to whether government was in order to remain silent when Mr. Lungu was out of the country and details not being availed to the Assembly, the government sought ways to engage Mr. Lungu. But from the response that the Minister of Health provided to the National Assembly, it was clear that the response they got from the family of Mr. Lungu was not favorable.
Yes, indeed, Mike. Yes, indeed. It's really been a tumultuous relationship between Mr. Lungu and government. Many saw him as a disruptor or a political harbinger of chaos, much like Zambia's Jacob Zuma, with regards to his ability to play chess in favor of his ideals. And of course, many regarded him as a hero for their own personal ideals. Have there been any details with regards to the state funeral?
This is where it gets interesting again, even if we are in a mourning period. So this is what has happened. The larger faction of the PF, led by acting PF president, Mr. Given Lubenda, who is the former justice minister, yesterday he announced a 7-day mourning period for Mr. Lungu, and the official funeral house was declared at the PF headquarters right here in Lusaka. So you can imagine now, this is the strong PF, the larger faction of the PF. They have declared they are on their own to say, this is how we want the process to be done. All the districts, the provincial centers have been declared across the country, have been declared as also the official funeral places for Mr. Lungu. This is aside the government making any official statement to say, this is how we want this funeral to be held. But from my view, the secretary to cabinet is certainly making frantic efforts to sit down with the family of Mr. Lungu. As you may be aware, the former first lady, Mrs. Esther Lungu, is in the country, So I'm very pretty sure that the government will engage the family, and it is from the family that now an official government position will be taken. But like I've said earlier, the PF have already declared a 7 days mourning period for Mr. Lungu. So you could see that the government really has to be sober enough. They have to
Yes.
be to be above board to ensure that this funeral avoids the divisions that may arise, but it should
Yes.
bring about unity.
Indeed. Ideally, everyone should be speaking with one voice at a time like this. Thank you very much, Mike, for lending us your voice on this important update on the passing of Edgar Lungu.
Thank you very much. And I believe maybe as during the course of the week, as we go, we'll certainly also lay out the legacy of Mr. Lungu during his 7-year term when he governed Zambia. But thank you very much for having me. Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Sichula. DSTV 285, Core TV 285, 1am2.com, and Network Media Hub and NTV Africa on YouTube is precisely where you can find us.